Yeah, and unless you've been living in under a rock or you've just been on socials for months and months and months, the hero's journey is probably something that you've heard of a lot because a lot of people talk about it, a lot of self-help guys, a lot of people in personal development space, but I got a completely original take on it. So I was having a chat with a friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about the hero's journey, and I think there's like an extreme version of it, like guys now in their 20s saying you should die for things, you know. I don't think you should be dying for that. I don't think that you should aim to die in your 20s. I think that's a bit extreme. I think, yeah, and especially the perspective of these two guys were like millionaires. You know, they're killing it. I don't think they should die because their life is pretty good. But you know, I respect it at the same time. But my take on the hero's journey is I think that every man needs it. I think that every man growing up in their 20s, early 30s, you know, and then they progress into their late 30s, late 40s, and life is very different. I think that as men, we need a hero's journey. We need to glorify our chapter. We need to glorify like our upbringing or our, maybe not our upbringing, but like what we are doing right now. We need to glorify that and really just like almost create a narrative that makes you feel like you're a fucking hero or you're training for some kind of, you know, really severe physically tough event or whatever it may be. Because I think if you start living and training as if you are a hero, like the hero's journey, it gives you some fucking real strong core sense of purpose and fulfillment. So like myself, for example, you know, I train, I think I spoke about this a bunch, but I started Muay Thai out here and I fucking love it. Go Muay Thai about 3-4 times a week. And every time I go there, I like picture myself as training for something greater than just getting fit. Like I'm training to protect myself, you know, self-defense. I'm training to protect my family, my friends, you know, and I know it might seem a bit a bit over the top, but what that does is it creates like a certain narrative within your own head and within your own mindset that you are this becoming this like Bushido samurai warrior, and you are very virtuous. And then that led me to look into something called the Bushido Code, which is the way of the samurai. And, you know, we could go on a whole tangent right now, and I will. But what I'm trying to say is, I think as a man, you need to have a purpose. I think you need a hero's journey. I think you need to go through some shit. And I think you need to overcome that shit and reap the rewards and have the version of success. And unless you have the bullshit on the way to the success, it's not going to slap. Like, it's not quite going to feel the exact same. And that's why it's called the hero's journey, and that's why it's so important, because it's a journey of how you've overcome negativity, how you've overcome challenges, how you've been resilient through times of hardship. And physically training is the best way to do it. And it gives you crazy confidence as well. Like, you wake up knowing that if you needed to, and I say if you need to because I'm not a big advocate of just beating people up for no reason, but if you needed to, you could harm somebody. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you could put harm onto somebody, you could inflict damage, you could hurt somebody, all of that stuff. And there's a famous quote that you've probably heard, and I love it. I think the superpower within the hero's journey is having the capability and having the power to hurt somebody, but never doing it unless absolutely necessary. And I want to make that point clear. Unless it's absolutely necessary to do so, we don't go around just beating people up. You know, I'm not saying I can beat up loads of people or anything like that, but I'm saying that as I understand and I study the hero's journey in martial arts, and I get to spar with people, I understand that there is, with the right kind of training, you do have that kind of dangerous characteristic. And again, like, I've only been doing this for 2 months, but it's something I want to continue with. Now, the quote that I referenced a minute ago is, "It is better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war." Woo! Yeah, that's Riz 101, but you kind of get the picture. It's better to have the power and the capability to really, really hurt somebody and put some harm onto others, but never actually doing it unless you need to. And those situations where you might need to are going to be elements or situations which go against the grain of Bushido. And I might be saying that wrong, but the way of the warrior. And these certain codes and certain virtues of the way of the warrior or the way of the samurai are really, really good things that, you know, as a gentleman and as a decent bloke, you probably have got anyway. Virtuous, have courage, be brave, be polite, be integrity, or have a lot of integrity, be humble. I don't know if they actually use the word humble, but something along those lines. And there's actually, I think there's seven virtues in the way of the samurai in the Bushido code. And it's inspiring, you know, because who wouldn't want to be honest? Who wouldn't want to be polite? Who wouldn't want to be courageous? Who wouldn't want to have integrity? Who wouldn't want to look after those who look after them? And that's the way I roll. Yeah, it's the way I do things. And yeah, the way of the warrior, the hero's journey has allowed me to feel a certain way. Because now it's like, well, what's your priorities? What are your priorities right now at 27? If I'm asking myself that question, it's like health, wealth, understanding freedom, building my own thing, and loyal to the soil, to the core, you know, to people that are loyal to me, my friends, my family, people I really just give a fuck about. So that was an interesting take. I thought I'd share it before I go and start my day, helping other people grow their businesses with one of the accounts I'm selling for. You know, it's all fucking tied in. And yeah, this chapter of my life has been very interesting because it's all about growth, both physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, everything. And I'm going to do another video about, about that. But I hope this was helpful. It's something that's been on my mind for a while. I actually want to do a better video on the hero's journey because I think there's more to it than what I've just described. I think there's a lot more to it. But that being said, happy Tuesday, you filthy animals. I hope everyone is fucking fantastic. I'm going to be back in the UK in July this year because we know, you know, an English summer is beautiful. And yeah, I'm very excited for that. So thank you for watching. Speak to you lot soon. Yeah, bosh.